Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Many foreigners visiting major Chinese cities are often surprised by the almost complete absence of homeless people. This stands in stark contrast to the central business districts, CBDs, of some major US cities, where homeless individuals and drug users are everywhere. Does China really have no homeless people? Or rather, where do the homeless in China go? Today, we will discuss this topic. Before discussing the homeless themselves, we need to introduce China's unique household registration system, known as Hukou. This system is a population management policy implemented by the Chinese government, categorizing citizens based on their registered place of residence. Through this system, the government determines a person's legal right to live and work in a certain location. According to regulations, a person can only hold one hukou at a time. Newborns must be registered by their guardians shortly after birth, a process known as getting a household registration. The registered address does not necessarily have to be the person's actual place of residence but must be linked to a relative or an institution, example, military families or abandoned children. For more details, refer to the Wikipedia link in the video description. Because of the Hukou system, a city's population is automatically divided into local and non-local residents. Between 1990 and 2003, China enforced a custody and repatriation system, which involved detaining and deporting individuals classified as 3No personnel, those without legal documentation, a fixed residence, or a stable income. These included people without ID cards, temporary residence permits, or work permits. Non-local citizens residing in a city for more than 3 days were required to obtain a temporary residence permit, otherwise, they were considered to be illegally staying and subject to deportation. However, this system was abolished in 2003 following the high-profile Sun Jigang case. It was replaced with the current homeless assistance and relief system, which essentially functions in a similar way. In many foreign countries, there are also shelters and low-income housing programs for the homeless. However, many homeless individuals choose to stay on the streets for various reasons. Western governments cannot forcibly remove them since they have nowhere else to go. In contrast, China's Hukou system simplifies the issue. If a homeless person from another city is found, they are immediately deported back to their place of origin. The government contacts their family to cover the deportation costs, and the person must sign a pledge promising not to leave their hometown again. If a local homeless person is discovered, their family is contacted to take them back, or they are forcibly placed into assistance programs. Essentially, the government ensures they cannot remain on the streets. This becomes especially strict when major international events are about to take place in a city. Authorities conduct large-scale crackdowns on undocumented non-locals, forcibly sending them back to their registered Hukou locations. This policy affects not only the homeless but also educated professionals and ambitious white-collar workers, let alone actual homeless individuals. Characteristics of the homeless in China. Due to China's weaker social welfare system compared to Western countries, homeless individuals in China cannot survive on the streets for long. As mentioned earlier, they are either placed in shelters or sent back to their hometowns. This has led to the emergence of a uniquely Chinese form of homelessness, people who are technically homeless but do not appear to be. These individuals are actually low-income workers who live on a day-to-day basis. They wake up at 4 to 5 a.m. to search for temporary jobs in labor markets. If they find work, they spend the day at job sites. If not, they pass the time in public spaces like KFC restaurants, internet cafes, or shopping malls. At night, they often sleep in cheap group rentals, closed subway stations, underground walkways, or internet cafes. In smaller cities with fewer foreign tourists, some may rest briefly in railway station plazas. Sometimes, you may see people pulling suitcases while wandering the streets. These are essentially homeless individuals. However, since the government is committed to presenting an image of having eradicated extreme poverty, they must ensure these individuals do not look like traditional homeless people. Previously, an elite group among these people even emerged, the Sanhei gods. What happens to those sent to shelters? If you search for government reports, you'll find only positive portrayals of these shelters. However, common sense tells us that the government is unlikely to financially support these people indefinitely. If they are unwilling to work, what happens to them? In 2013, a journalist pretended to be homeless to investigate a shelter's operations. He ended up being beaten at the Changsha City Assistance Station. Some sources reveal that these shelters primarily serve to deter people from returning to the streets by whatever means necessary. Since such practices are never officially reported, the details remain unclear. Due to this system, many struggling migrant workers in big cities face two choices. 1. Return to their hometowns and take on low-paying temporary jobs. 2. Deliberately commit minor crimes, example, theft, vandalism, to get sent to prison, where they at least have a place to stay and food to eat, an option some prefer over staying in a shelter. Zhu Liki, who once went viral on the Chinese internet, is one such person. He was also nicknamed Che Guevara of theft by Chinese netizens. This also explains why some Chinese laborers accept extremely low wages, saying, "Just give me a place to stay and food to eat, and I will work." What do you think about all this? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.